I've been collaborating in DaVinci Resolve for a while now, and there are a few things I almost never see anyone talk about. So in this video, I'm going to show you a few tips that have really helped me a lot, especially once you're past the basics, and I really hope that some of them will help you too. Let's start. And we will start with something very simple, how to properly check whether your skin tones are correct. I will show you this using a clip graded with my master blend PowerGrade. It includes a full tutorial, LUTs, a PDF guide and DCTL. You can find the link below if you want to check it out. But coming back to our clip, the best way to check skin tones is by using the vector scope. We can also customize it here, which is very important. So first, enable the skin tone indicator, this diagonal line here, and this line represents the average hue of human skin, regardless of ethnicity. I also like to enable 2x zoom, which makes the trace larger and easier to read, and you can also further adjust the vector scope scale and graticule, so everything is comfortable for your eyes. Now, how do we actually know where the skin tones are on the vector scope? There's a very simple technique. Create a new empty serial node, and there's no need to label it since it's temporary. Then go to Power Windows and select the ellipse, place it over the skin, enable highlight mode, and now look at the vector scope. This isolates the skin, making it easy to see exactly where it sits on the skin tone line, and you can also move the window around to check skin tones in different areas of the image. The next tip is the correct way to use DaVinci Resolve's built-in Kodak 2383 LUTs. We'll be working with this ungraded red clip. I want to base its look on the Kodak LUT. So the first super important thing to remember. I work in a color-managed environment. That means I convert my clip from log to Rec 709 at the project level, not by using a CST on the clip. You can learn more about these two ways of working in one of my older tutorials. I'll tag it here for you. And basically, the way I always set up my project is go to Project Settings, then Color Management, then set the color science to DaVinci YRGB Color Managed, and my working color space to DaVinci White Gamut Intermediate. Now, the output color space depends on your monitor. If you are on a PC, it's Rec 709 Scene. If you have a calibrated monitor, it's probably Rec 709 Gamma 2.2 or 2.4. And if you are on a Mac, it's Rec 709A. And if you really want to dive deep into it, I would really recommend you checking out my course. I go through all of this in way more detail. You can find a link to it below this video as well. But coming back to today's tutorial, now that our project is set up properly, we need to convert our clip. I will reveal the clip here, right-click on it, go to the input color space, and I can see it's wrongly set to Rec 709 Scene, and I know how my clip was shot, it was red, so it should be red lock film. So that's step 1 done. Now let's start applying our LUT. And keep in mind, DaVinci's built-in LUTs are designed for Cineon color space, not Rec 709. You can't just drop them on your clip directly. Watch what happens if I do. I will right-click on my node, go to LUT, Film Looks, and Kodak 2383 D55. And yeah, that looks wrong. So let's undo. And here's the proper way. So first, add a node and label it Rec 709 to Cineon, so we don't get confused. Then grab Color Space Transform from the Effects library. And then our input color space and input gamma should match the timeline color space, which is DaVinci White Gamut Intermediate. So here we set input color space to DaVinci White Gamut and input gamma to DaVinci Intermediate. Then our output color space will be Rec 709 and the output gamma will be Cineon Film Lock to prepare it for the LUT. And now this is not the end, because we need to build a little sandwich. So let's create 2 more nodes. On the second node, we'll be applying our LUT. This LUT will not only give us the Kodak look, but it will also convert the clip from Cineon back to Rec 709. And because of that, we need to bring the image back into DaVinci White Gamut so we can continue working in our timeline color space. So in order to take the full advantage of it, we will use color space transform again on this third node and convert the image from Rec 709 back to DaVinci white gamut. I know this sounds complicated, but if you focus, it will make sense. And if it feels too difficult, feel free to join my color grading course where I explain color spaces in much more detail. So here the input color space and input gamma will be Rec 709, and the output color space and output gamma will be DaVinci white gamut and DaVinci intermediate. Now we are ready to apply the Kodak LUT. So let's right click here, go to Film Looks, grab our Kodak 2383 LUT, and this is our clip before and after. Now, the most important thing I want you to remember today is that you don't need to use the full strength of the LUT. I actually barely ever use it at 100%. We can change the opacity of the LUT, but again, we cannot just go to the key tab and reduce the gain like this, because that would mix it back with the Cineon and make it look wrong. Instead, create a compound node combining the LUT and CST nodes, and you can label it LUT. And now you can adjust the opacity properly, usually somewhere around 0.7 to 0.9 works really nicely. And after that, you can keep grading underneath the LUT. I will add a serial node here before, and I will do some quick primary adjustments. Okay, and maybe I will also go to the HDR wheels and bump the saturation a little. And the next fire tip is how to do relighting with the RGB mixer in DaVinci Resolve. I will show you how to do that using the same clip. So I will create a new node and I will call it relighting. Then I will right click on it and change the composite mode to luminosity. And now we'll go to the RGB mixer and turn off auto normalize for each channel. And this will let us control the brightness of each color channel independently, so we can reshape the light in the image without changing the overall colors. So now we can adjust these channels individually like this. So feel free to play around with it, but be careful, don't push it too hard, or you might introduce unwanted noise or break the image. And our last tip is the simplest way to do bleach bypass in DaVinci Resolve. Bleach bypass is basically a technique where you desaturate the colors and increase the contrast at the same time, giving your image that gritty, high contrast look. So here I'll create a new node and I will call it Bleach Bypass. Then I will right click on it and I will change the composite mode to overlay. And now our clip looks horrible, but don't worry, we'll fix it. So go to the RGB mixer and turn on monochrome. Then go to the key tab and reduce the gain to make the contrast look more natural. And here's our before and after. Just look at that cinematic contrast. And you can also go back to the RGB mixer. And in this mode, you can manipulate the separate channels to achieve different results. Like this. Thank you so much for watching my videos, guys. I hope that you like them. If you do, hit subscribe and don't forget to leave a comment below. See you soon.